Hello, welcome to this video. We will be trying to self-host WordPress using the LAMP stack. The L stands for Linux and the LAMP stack, which we will be having a Ubuntu instance in Oracle Cloud. The A stands for Apache web server. This will be the actual web server that serves our website. The M stands for MySQL, which is the database that WordPress will use to store all of its content. And P is PHP, which is the programming language that WordPress uses. This video is a part of our CS219 Cloud Computing Assignment 2, so we will try to complete all of these steps here. Before we move on to A and create a secure login for WordPress, let's go check on what we have already created. Heading over to Oracle Cloud, as you can see here in VM1, if we paste the public IP, it is a simple PHP website. We will try to later load balance this. Going into VM2, we can see that we have set up a virtual cloud network and a subnet. Inside the subnet, we have modified the security list details and we have added port 80 and port 443 for HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Now we will use PuTTY software to connect to the VM. After we are connected, we will try to configure our WordPress. To set up WordPress, first we will have to download all of its dependencies, mainly being components of the LAMP stack. Once the dependencies have been done downloading, we will try to set up our MySQL database. So first we will log in using the root user. After we have successfully logged in, we will run some SQL commands. The first will be to create a database named WordPress. This is what WordPress will actually use to store its content. Secondly, we will create a user for WordPress to use. And lastly, we will grant permission to that database for that specific user. Then we can exit out of MySQL. Now that we have MySQL set up, the next thing to do is install WordPress itself. We will use the wget command to get it. You can see right now we are in the home/Ubuntu directory, and this is where we will install WordPress. After installing, if we type in ls to check what we have got, you can see that we have a zip file of it. We can then use the tar command to unzip it. If we ls again, you can see that we have a WordPress directory now. The next thing to do is move all of the contents from the WordPress directory to our HTML directory which serves the website. So now the WordPress directory is still here, but if we go to the /var/www/html directory, you will see that all of the contents from the WordPress folder have been pasted here. We will now rename the sample config file to our main config file. To edit a text document, you can either use Nano or Vim depending on which you know. In this case, I will use Vim to edit the config file. Inside the file, towards the top, you will be able to see the database name and user as well as the password. You will have to change this to what we had previously set them to be. So the database name we chose was WordPress, the user we chose was admin, and the password was password. This is all that is required to set up WordPress, but since we're trying to have a secure installation, we will scroll down a bit more and change a few more things. This section requires you to go to a specific URL to get the newly generated secret keys and paste them into the table. So just copy the URL provided there and paste it into your web browser, and it will give you back the details required. Once you have obtained the details required, you can simply copy them from the browser and paste them back into the database or into the config file. So you would have to delete the existing definitions over there and replace them with the newly acquired ones. You can now save and exit the text editor, and that allows us to completely set up WordPress. So if we go to the public IP of the VM that we set this up in, we should be able to see the WordPress login screen. In this case, you can just fill in the site title, a new username and password, as well as your email. Then you will be required to log in again. Just provide the details we used before. And with that, we have successfully set up a secure administrator login for WordPress.